and this video is another video about tables. This one over here is a Aromas. It's produced in April 2019, I think. It's fairly new. I think it's the newest model we have here at school. You've probably seen it. Right now it's only in 101 and 006, I think. But unfortunately, it's not linear, which means we have to go to something which we will assume that is linear. And that's something that I drew on the board. And basically, it's really dark in here, as seen. We're going to use this table over here, and it shows you the population in Oostenrijk throughout several years. And the first thing you should probably see is it's not a linear table right now. But we're going to hopefully learn something about which is called interpolation and extrapolation. And to do that, we're going to assume that parts of the table are linear. So what is interpolation, for example? If you have a table like this, something that you might wonder is, how many people were there in 2014? And to do so, well, which 2 years should use? Interpolation says we're going to use like a time frame in which 2014 is, and we're going to use the best possible time frame. So we're not going to use 2000 and 2020, we're going to use 2010 and 2020. And the increase in years here is 10. And we're going to assume that in this small time period, in these 10 years, that the growth was linear. You can also see that there were 1,000 new people in here, which means that every year, 1,000, an increase of 1,000 in 10 years means every year increase with 100 a year. So now we're going to start in 2010. There were 25,000 people then. And we're going to add 4 times 100. Why 4 times? Because I want to know the amount of people in 2014. And this, keep in mind, this is an estimate. This is not like a perfect result. So our estimate is that in 2014 there were 25,400 people. Okay. Let's try that again. What about I think some of you are born in, what is it, 2008? 7? No, not 8. That's, all of you are much older than that. Let's use 2006. Pause the video and try and see if you can calculate the amount of, give a good estimate of the amount in 2006. Well, I assume that you actually paused it, except for some of you, which will never do anything I say, unfortunately. In this case, we're going to use a different time period. We're going to use 2002, 2010. This is the part that we're going to use of our table. And these 2 numbers are there as well. This means that we have an increase in years of 10, and there are 500 of the population increases with 500. This means for every year, it's 500 over 10, it's plus 50. Okay, then I'm starting in 2000, 24,500, and I'm going to add 6 times this amount. 24,800. Something that you should keep in mind is if I add this amount 10 times the amount of years, I'm going from 24,000 to 25,000. So these 2 things that I'm doing over here is interpolation. So what's extrapolation? The part extra in chemistry usually means outside of something. Intro or somewhat in your table means it's inside of your table. So extra means outside of your table. Usually in math you want to predict the future, or we would like to. We're not always as successful at doing that. And to do so, we're going, for example, to use the year 2034. And in this year, we're going to once again look for the best time frame, which is this last one. This one is closest, our best information closest to this year. So once again, we have the increase of 1000 over 10, which is still the increase of about 100 a year. We're going to start at 220, which means we have 26,000 people. And we're going to move 14 years into the future, which means our estimate will give us 27,400. The last one I wanted to show you. Instead of going into the future, we can also go into the past. And we're going into the year, what's a nice number? Let's use 1984. It's also a pretty good novel by George Orwell. The best time frame for this period is from 1990 to 1994. It's a good year I was born there. 140. So we can see that the amount of years in this period increased with 4, and the amount of people increased with 120, which means for every year, the amount increased with 30. It should make sense. Yes, this means for every year that passes, it increases. But if you go back into time, the opposite thing happens of plus 30. And the opposite thing of that is that minus 30. So what are we going to do? We're going to start in 1990 with 24,020 people. We're going to subtract 30. Now how many times are we going to subtract it? 6 times. Why? Because you're going 6 years back into time, from 1990 to 1984. So that means we're left with 23,840 people. And what we're doing on the right side over here, this part, is called extrapolation. Because it's outside of our time frame. Our time frame was from 1990 up until 2020, and everything within those 30 years was basically interpolation. Everything outside of that is extrapolation. Basically, these two techniques are almost similar, but there's a small